Well, hey everybody, this is Don from the Vlog of Many Things, and welcome to the show. And with me tonight are my compatriots.
Steve?
Tom?
Tanka.
Ladies, gentlemen,
Start
maps
your
and
engines.
morons, St. Cuthbert. Welcome to the show tonight. We are going to be talking about, well, we got viewer mail. We got more mail this week. That's actually good, decent questions and mail. We also have, we're going to be talking about publishing tonight. We're going to be talking about game publishing, the collective parts of game publishing, some of the traps you can avoid because there's a lot of traps out there for people who don't know what they're doing, and just kind of going to get in general just about things and stuff.
Traps for people who use their thief skills as a dump stat?
Could be true. Fugly, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Fugly.
For everybody who's interested, possibly would be in the bottom of the thing. There is a little banner saying the vlog of many things at gmail.com. Again, if you have any questions, comments, you want us to do a strict show on something, you want us to talk about a specific topic, email us there. We'll be happy to take your topic and run with it. Just give us your first name and where you're from, city or state, doesn't matter, and your question, and we'll be glad to use it on the show. So, gentlemen, where shall we start tonight?
I don't know.
Well, I do have one announcement. I already told you about this one, is that my Off-Road Chronicles Book 1 has been print approved, so it's going to be out for sale here real soon. I mean, the ebook's been out for a while, but I finally have the actual print version going out finally.
Yes, and that will be at WizardCon.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully at WizardCon. I don't know if it'll get in time or not, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Well, if you got it from me, you'd get it in time. But no, you got to go through that one site.
I know, right? I just can't give you anything these days, can I?
TXG, Mr. Gunn, everybody, Edward, how you guys all doing? All right, anything, we'll just start it off like this. Anything in general gaming news, gentlemen, that we'd like to talk about tonight? Anything happening with anything at all?
Well,
Kelsey Dion's Kickstarter ended up finishing off at what? 2.5?
2.4, 2.5. So it was huge.
It was big.
It was big.
We're talking about massively, I can barely take it all big Kickstarter. Big.
Yes.
Yay.
That's right.
Any
other Kickstarter?
Watsi got a lesson in what not to do on X.
Oh, Eric, please explain.
Okay, so they made an announcement that, hey, you can write for the new 2024. They don't even call it the new 2024 rules. The new rule set. By the way, folks, remember it wasn't new rules. That's now a new rule set. And you can write for these new rules starting next Tuesday, like the 22nd or whatever it is.
Hey, Eric, is the new rule set code name for dog shit D&D?
Dog shit D&D. D&D forever. And they got their asses handed to them in the comments. You want me to trust you after the OGL fiasco? You fire your creatives and now you need people to create? You're going to make money off me? Oh my God. They are plastic.
That though was the lame stuff. We really should have been better prepared and gave everybody the link to it, because Eric shared the link earlier today, and I'm not joking. I spent 30 minutes laughing my ass off and rolling off my chair. It was so damn funny because it's like they started it was weird. It was like they started feeding off each other. Like it was a contest. Like, oh no, they're not going to make a better post than I am. I'm going to do them. And it just got worse and worse and worse. But poetically, they were all right in what they were saying.
And the irony is the Watsi's probably over there going, X is just a caustic cesspool anyways.
But the funny part about 2.4 million, yes. But the funny part about it is that they haven't taken it down. They're leaving it up, which blows my mind. Edward says,
Yeah,
did you
those-
catch the number of creators looking at leaving the crowdsourcing model for PDF POD? No, PDF. Well, PDF is a standard
Yeah.
for people who use
Right.
laptops. The EPUBs are you utilize for things like cell phones, if you're going to use a cell phone or something. Ed, I'm going to tell you what, I'll be honest with you, I have read nothing about that. Please, in the comments, give us some more info on that. One of us will dig into it. That'd be a really good talking point because, um, wow,
Send it
leaving
to
the
the
crowd.
send it to the Vlog of Many Things Gmail and
Yeah,
the link, and then Don can open it and then paste
yeah,
it into the.
we'll
Right.
paste into
I
the
mean,
chat. Hell yes.
Yeah.
I can talk from within my own gaming group. Greg Christopher, the chubby funster, I believe March he made as much with his POD and PDF releases Shadowrun as he makes at his day job.
Isn't
Nice.
that crazy?
You know, so if you can do quality work, people will buy it. That's
Yes.
what
And
it is.
I think that this trend is probably piggybacking off of the hated AI art, which I won't use, but I get that other people will use it. And so I think you're probably seeing a lot of people going, I can get AI to do the artwork, I can get AI to do the layout, although the layout ends up being pretty crappy. Um, and, hopefully they're not using AI for the writing because that ends up being pretty crappy. But I think that people are going, I'm not an artist, I can't do the art. Because I actually approached somebody I liked a lot, that I've downloaded a lot of their $1 pay what you want suggested $1 things, and I said, hey, I see you're using AI art. Here's a couple of photoshops I did that you could use for covers, and I can help you out a little bit to do some covers for you. And they were like, no, we're fine with just using AI art. And I'm like, hey,
Well,
I don't want to be throwing money at AI art.
well, real quick, the funny thing about AI art is that this is one of those things where what people are not getting is yes, AI art looks good. It's getting better every single day. But the problem is that there are still major court cases that are in the federal courts. If those court cases go against these AI generation companies, then what's going to happen is there's going to be a thing called the trickle down, you're fucked syndrome. And that is, they're going to go after everybody who used it. So, like, as an
Is that an
example,
official legal term?
that might end up being an official legal term because I'll tell you what my attorney told me. She flat off said, until this gets hashed out in the federal courts, stay away from it because the way this goes is that let's say the little guys win against the big AI companies. Probably not going to happen, I'll admit. But if they do, and there's always a chance, we're talking about law here. If they do, then what happens is everybody who has used these services will have legal exposure because they used basically IP violating works.
Right.
So they'll go after people, and then what will happen is, like she said, a cottage industry will pop up. Like, you ever see those commercials like, do you have mesothelioma? Call the law offices of Baker, Johnson, and 15 other names, and you see we're licensed in 15 different states. But that's what happens. There's these sharks that come out, ambulance chasers, and they specialize then in suing small creators.
Oh, yeah?
And then you'll have everybody on Facebook going, but it was free. They told me. Hey, ignorance is not any excuse for violating the law, people.
Absolutely. Preach it.
You know.
Preach it. Come on.
I have been on my pulpit waving my little black book of IP violation and being laughed at, called an idiot and a drama queen and all that. So I just figure, you know what?
Now,
Even if tomorrow they said AI was legal, I wouldn't touch it because I have loyalty to the artist when I didn't have jack shit that gave me art for free and said, Eric Lofgren, Matt Forsyth, I can go on and on. They said, Don, we'll help you out, my friend. Just make sure you put my name as credit into it. that's the loyalty that this industry is starting to slowly but surely lack, because more and more people will sell out those people that helped them in their early days. Sorry, not from this bald guy.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
and
that look, there are legitimate uses you could make of AI. I have had descriptions that people submitted to me of creatures for the sci-fi magazine, and I'm looking at and I'm thinking, I don't know how to draw this, and we really need an illustration for this. And so I'll go to AI and I'll go, draw me a, and I'll put in the
A
description.
Penosaurus. Come on. Let's be accurate.
It'd be like a lizard, but it looks like a bull. So it'd be
Sounds familiar to me when I get out of the shower in the morning.
I mean, whatever the descriptors are, and I'll see what it generates, and I'll go, all right, and then I'll free sketch that looking at the picture. To me, that's legitimate.
But that's legitimate because you're not doing direct. And also, I do not see anything wrong with utilizing AI, okay, for gaming, for adventures, for rules, whatever, if you're going to do it at home and not for commercial use.
Right.
Okay. And Mr. Gunn, the video channel's coming for that. Don't worry, my friend.
Oh, as a side note too, is if I use AI, I don't use it anywhere in production, but I will use it for example art, because when I'm writing, I need like little visual prompts to help me keep consistent. Because otherwise, I have image drift, and it starts out as like a guy, and then it becomes a girl, and they go from pink hair to blue hair and stuff.
But you're using it as reference, Steve. You're not using it for commercial
maybe
sale.
Your
exactly.
Just identifying differently. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, Tom. Mark Hunt makes a good point here about PDF real quick. We're going to bounce around a little bit, but very good point. PDF is direct funds versus having to get a cut with crowdfunding organizations. That's very, very true. And actually, I admit, and I will confess something, I have been for a long time anti-PDF because, I'm old school. I like a book. I like to have it in my hand. And that's kind of transitioned over to my business model, but I'm changing my mind since the whole paper shortage thing too, with not shortage, but basically getting butt rammed by tariffs, is with Wizard Tower Publishing now, we're going to offer PDF. It's going to be PDF. We're going to have a drive-through RPG account. Eric convinced me to do that. I think Eric was right in doing it, convinced me of that. And, we're going to offer PDF publishing. Why not? Straight PDF. It saves us money because we don't got to deal with all the printing and binding. We don't got to deal with the headaches of printing and everything. Right. And I think that there's a heavy market out there for it. Like Chubby Funster, you just said, he makes as much selling PDFs as he does his day job.
Yeah, and
crazy.
People will throw a buck for a low page count PDF easy.
But Tom, it's proven. It's been proven that if you have an adventure module that you sell for $24.95,
mm-hmm.
you can sell that PDF for $14.95.
True,
and you can get it. And if you take a look at, people go, well, yeah, but you can get $10 more for the module. Yes, but the module costs money to make. The module takes your time and your machines to have to maintain and out of your day to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, sorry guys, but binding a module is a pain in the ass. It looks simple, but it's a pain in the ass to get the line up correctly and fold correctly. Edward Kopp says something. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just going to say, I've been slowly uploading every PDF that I have on my computer to Google Drive. And the reason I do that is so that I have it also on my phone. I could be sitting in a doctor's waiting room, and I can go in there and I can read the Shadow Dark rules, or I could read your haunted ruins rules. I just go in there and I just go into Google Drive and I start. Let me read up on this today. Or Don said we're going to talk about this, and so let me go in here and all right, let me look at this. And so having all that on there rather than having it on my computer, it just works. Having it uploaded to the cloud, to Google Drive, to whatever. And I have access on my phone and my computer, and clean out the memory of my computer, which is suffering terribly.
Well, Edward Kopp says he says, "Will do. I have a bit of research behind it, but James Grimm, Jim Desborough, and I pivoted from print books to monthly zines, and then base D&D memes and shenanigans says, I hear Watsy is asking for volunteers they can steal content from. That's actually what we were talking about a few minutes ago. And then
Yeah.
Edward Kopp says, we're going to use a subscription model. That's what we are going to do also. Is it's going to be a subscription model, but in a different way. Ed, you're going to be at WizardCon. We got to sit down and all of us have a drink. I'll buy. I got some cool stuff to talk about.
Are you
And
buying
then
rum or are you buying Guinness?
I'll buy Guinness. And then real quick, try to catch up on. We have a lot of. Let's catch up on comments real quick, guys. Base D&D meme says going after AI didn't end well with Skynet. Not at all. Edward Cobb says AI content is going to be an ADA issue. Mark my words. Take close title. Yeah, title 3 is huge. Look it up. He is 100% right on that. And then TXG says, I think you'll see people start using AI for writing, then running it through a paraphraser till it's tweaked. See, that's the thing, though. You know what? I guess ethics is anything that you want to call it. I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this as an author. I write. And if you use AI to write your books, I don't give a shit if how many you tweak it, how much you mess with it. You know what? You're not an author. You didn't write jack. What you did is you had a computer do it for you. You know, just like AI. If I have AI draw me a goblin, I did not draw the goblin.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you're a prompt engineer, and that's all you are.
Absolutely.
Well,
Maps.
You can use AI. You could use ChatGPT, and you can say, "Hey, I need a Russian-sounding name for a character in my story."
That's far.
Yeah, that
different.
works. That's fine.
Yeah.
I need a corporate. I need a name of a corporation that's going to be in the Star Frontier setting. Boom.
Boom.
It'll do it. And it'll do a good job. And you'll get one and you'll go, I don't know if I like that. Give me 10 more.
But there's a difference from that. That's like me coming in here in this group and saying, hey, guys, I have a evil character who's a magic user for my new book series. I need a name. And everybody throws in names and I pick one. Yeah, I did not create that name. Okay. But
you certainly created the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Rob Conley, we've discussed this. I think Rob had it the best.
Right.
AI is best when you treat it as a tool like a random table generator. When you're using it to generate ideas, not be the idea creator. It's like, all right, it gave me 20 little hooks. Let me see if any of these hooks actually resonate with me. That's why we always use random tables when we're doing sandboxes.
Yeah, it's like a thesaurus.
And hex scroll.
Mm-hmm. It's like going to a thesaurus and saying, give me another name for being anally retentive about AI art. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Maps and Morons, by the way, thank you for tuning in. I think you're new to our channel because you got a unique name. I think I remembered you before. I used AI art for my projects, and all I got was this trickle-down fucked up syndrome. Yes. And St. Cuthbert says, worse yet, if AI is IP violations, WotC and its attorneys will go after all creators. You know what? I think another creator, calling him a creator is such a weird term to use, another individual found that out the hard way. Base D&D means the shenanigans says technology doesn't go backwards. AI is only going to get bigger and better. It's adapt or die time. Base D&D means you are correct, but the problem is this adapting technology is in right now several federal courts that could make it illegal to use for commercial use. And I don't think AI is going to be made illegal. It's here to stay. But the question is going to be is if I create something using AI, how is that AI sourced? Is there truly a thing called ethical AI like I hear now people talking about? Well, this is ethically done. Well, yes and no. You'd have to make your AI libraries public, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Gunn says Don's drag show drama queen. Amen, sister. Amen. The Zatron, thanks for tuning in, says, well, even if AR becomes the norm, there'll be a game or other stuff that sells itself as using no AI, thereby seeming more valuable, more exclusive. It's already happening and people are responding to it.
Yes, that was something
Yep.
I brought up in my recent video, or one of my recent AI videos, that, yeah, okay, AI is a thing. People are going to use it. There's people that they're so cheap, they will not pay the money. So that don't consider them your customers. And you're eventually going to have a market where you say, this was original from me,
Yes.
no AI period. And people will eat that up like candy.
Well, Jim Wampler, who, for those of you who don't know, Jim Wampler made my personally favorite crazy, moronic, idiotic magic user called Marvin the Mage. And I say that with love because he is a crazy, idiotic, moronic magic user who likes to kill everybody around him on accident with fireballs. But Jim created a logo saying proudly does not use AI art. And people are using that all over the place still. And he created that months ago. Flint, welcome to the show. TXG says, with it getting ran through a paraphraser, you'll be hard pressed to find the source. The only possible downside to AI is the issue with hallucination, i.e., referencing made up sources. Absolutely. And actually, I think that as the technology becomes better, and if AI is determined to be illegal to use for commercial use, you will have companies out there developing technology to find it because it will be worth their investment to do that and such. Real quick, Fooey says, yesterday I had AI generated translation of an ancient Irish poem. Absolutely, you can do that. Mr. Gunn, or St. Cooper says, Mr. Gunn, I'm sending you the therapy bill. Mr. Gunn's going to be a super fan. That's right. Check out my OnlyFans. All I'm going to say is feet and cream rinse. The Brady Bunch here knows all about that.
I just want to interject that I told AI to write me a sonnet in the style of William Shakespeare, and it did. And I read it to my wife, and she went, "Oh!" And then I admitted it was AI, and she went,
Tom, no. What you do is you say,
it was
Tom,
really
you
good.
go,
I've read a lot of Shakespeare, and I was like, damn,
people
this
talk to this
nailed it.
man.
I know, but babe.
Tom,
I did one time. I just for fun. I took AI and I asked it. Okay, write the what was the Gettysburg Address? I asked it to write the Gettysburg Address, but in Picard's voice, and it came out so perfect. It was hilarious.
Oh my god!
well, Mark
Can
Hunt
you
makes
share that with me?
If I could find it, yeah.
Mark Hunt makes a perfect point here, and this is true. Folks will buy a PDF and then buy the print version if they really like
Exactly.
it. And that
That's
is
right.
hammer
Amen.
down. Right. This is why I work with this man as much as I do because he just knows it. And I have learned so much off this
Mark
guy.
Hunt is a smart guy. I have
Mark Hunt is
recently,
brilliant.
I like this guy.
Yep. I mean, right down to the violin case being brought to WizardCon. You will know when you find it and see it at WizardCon. Mark, right, Mark?
One of the things I was going to mention this earlier and didn't get a chance to, but there is lawsuits out there right now in progress to actually ban you from making copies of something you've downloaded. So, like, if I buy a PDF of an ebook or a PDF for an ebook or something like that, whatever the device is that it downloads to is the only place it can be. So if you upload it to Google Drive or your phone or whatever, you are in violation and you are stealing according to this.
But Steve, that is already part of the Creative Commons and other IP use licenses. The problem is they're now starting to enforce it. Why? Because people are being so blatantly dumb by violating these openly. They think they can't be touched. And it's sort of like, let one guy ruin it for everybody.
Be that
one
guy.
Well, there's you have a company letting people license their products, and everybody's happy. Then you got one fucking idiot that has to sue this big company, and what happens? He ruins it for everybody.
There's one exception. There is one exception. And that is Token Enterprises is very aggressive about going after people sharing
Disney too.
Middle Earth role playing from ICE, from Iron Crown Enterprises.
Yep.
And in the early 2000s, you would find websites where you could download all the PDFs, scan PDFs
Yep.
of all those ICE modules. They're out of print. And so in that case, I was like, I don't care. I just want to read what's in here.
Yeah.
And because I'm such a fan of Middle Earth, I'm such a fan of Iron Crown Enterprises, and so I went out and downloaded everything I could off of illegal, and then the website gets shut down, another one would start up. And of course, now it's now Scribd and other file sharing websites.
Edward Kopp has a really good question, and there's a formula, Edward. He asks, how do you figure out the costs of sales for a PDF? I'm going to talk in the upper left-hand corner of the screen only's viewpoint here, because everybody does it differently. But my formula for PDF versus print is I go anywhere between 50% and 2/3 will be PDF. So as an example, if that book is $10 for a print book, let's just say, then I will price that anywhere between $4.99 and $6.99. So it's anywhere between half to 2/3 of what the print is, and that's usually what you can pretty much get, and people will pay for. But you have to also understand that anymore, you also have to include with that PDF an EPUB version, because people not only want to look at it on their laptops and their tablets, they want to look at it on their phones, and you got to have EPUB to look at on the phone.
Oh, here's another one too. Going back to the people suing the big companies out there for, like, I want this and that. They sue the company, they lose. There's actually proof, and I'm trying to think, it's Laura Loomer and a couple others like that found this out, that there's companies out there that they want this. They want people to sue them, and they actually create fake court cases where they sue the company knowing they're going to lose, and now the company has a legal precedent that they can use against people that they didn't have before.
I'd like to see that, because the thing is legal precedent is a thing, but that's really risky. I mean, you really have some huge balls to sit there and do that, because we're talking about massive exposure there. So that would be something. Dig it up, Steve.
I mean,
we need to talk about that, and maybe
somebody having big balls and suing a big company to get the U.S. Post Office and Patent Office to reassign a trademark to them. That has happened in recent history.
Yes, it has.
And it failed miserably.
But the thing is, I heard this person does not have big balls.
Well, they have very tiny balls, actually.
Scott Mulder says, I have been pretty successful selling PDFs, but now I have a publisher that worked with me at Wizard Tower, so print is not an option I didn't have before. Yes, and that's the thing with Wizard Tower Publishing, which is different from Wizard Tower Games. Okay? We're going to be offering people the ability to print in PDF strictly, or you can do a mixture of PDF and print. It's up to you.
Concerning this comment from Scott Mulder, this guy has some Frontier Space modules that he put up on drive-thru.
Yeah.
And good stuff. And, because Scott Mulder's a fan of Star Frontiers. And so I've actually promoted his module in the magazine as like an advertisement, like he paid for an advert. We don't take any money because in the magazine, because it's a fan license. So no profit, but great module. Scott Mulder is somebody you should check out. If you go on drive-thru and check out Scott Mulder's Frontier Space module, really good stuff, particularly if you're a Star Frontiers fan.
Yeah, and also just let you know, he is brilliant. Me and Scott Mulder is actually working on Interstellar, a sci-fi role-playing game together, and his work on Interstellar is absolutely brilliant. Creative.
I wouldn't expect anything else. Scott is an awesome guy. I can't say enough good about Scott.
Yeah. And the thing is about Scott is he's not only talented in rule mechanics and game mechanics, he's talented in artwork too. Because he's done a bunch of artwork for me and Polly Kids game that we're publishing, Stars and Sails.
Scott Mulder kept us printing magazines, doing CGI artwork, but he's also done sketch artwork where I've provided him with like, hey, here's a deck plan. You think you can draw a ship to
Mhm.
match this? And he did. And I was like, oh, dude, man, this guy is awesome. I cannot say enough good about Scott Mulder,
Mhm.
also known as AZ Gamer Online. Scott Mulder, AZ Gamer. This guy is awesome. And if you ever want an artist to do something for you, this is the guy you should give him a
Yes.
commission.
Well, real quick, base D&D meme says this: better to use every tool at your disposal to complete a job. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but also as a publisher and as somebody who does this is my living. I want to make sure that the tool that I'm using is not going to give me legal exposure to be sued because, and Eric, sadly, Eric just, felt this personally is you don't have to be right to sue. You can be
Right.
absolutely the worst wrong person in the world. And if you got the money to bring a lawsuit, you cost that other person a lot of money.
Right.
So,
When WotC was threatening to remove the OGL, they really had no legal right to do so. But they
yeah.
had the money to fight off any of the various lawsuits that were going to pop up, so they figured might as right.
Yes. And see, it's just a really sad thing all the way around with the way this whole industry is going because there's so many people out there, and I'm not talking about anybody in here. I'm talking more generally on the East Coast, North Carolina area. There's sadly individuals like that they're so selfish they don't give a shit. They'll burn the house down with the kittens in the house, just to get what they want. Um, Real quick, base D&D meme says, where does an operating system end and AI begin? MS Paint is a program. AI is a program. Both can be used to make art that would otherwise be unavailable to the normal untrained artist. Anybody? I got a comment, but anybody else? Anyone want to tackle this real quick?
Well, I would say, look, the fact that the training data behind the AI art violates copyright, and it goes ahead and just scrapes the whole internet and pulls all this information in and just uses it anyways and said, big middle finger to you starving artists. We don't care. We're going to use your
Yep.
stuff, and we're gonna use it without you generating any sort of comeback from that. And this is wrong. And why I know this is wrong is because AI music is super scrupulous at avoiding anything that's under copyright. When you do the AI music program and say, create me a song for this, and it does that. It does that with stuff that is purely out in the open space that it can use, not under copyright. And they know that they can't do that because they know Sony's got deep pockets and Sony will sue. Witness the file sharing
Well,
lawsuits that went on with Sony over the file sharing that went on in decades past.
but that's the difference, though. See, but there's where the core difference is at here is that yes, it's sort of like also with Photoshop when brushes first came out, roughly 2008, 2007. The ability to use a brush and paint like a pattern, just patterning it by dragging. People were like, "Well, that's cheating because you didn't draw it." The difference is that pattern is not specific to a creator. And I use this example, and I've done this before on the show, and this is what I would say is, you want to see my point? Go into any AI creation program, okay, and type in a simple command prompt and just say, draw me a game box artwork in the style of Larry Elmore and the Red Dragon. Just do that, and you will be freaked out how close AI will pull up imagery that looks like the red box art for Beckme. And they're not getting that because it's just being creative. It's pulling that from someplace. And there's the issue here. Where is that data coming from? Where is it saying I want that art from? Because that's the same thing as me going, I want to make a song and I'm going to go grab AC/DC's Back in Black and I'm going to take a large portion of it, but I'm going to add my own stuff to it also. I'm still plagiarizing and utilizing their art. So AI is just a crazy thing, but you know,
Yeah.
there's so much to talk about tonight. We could talk about AI for 2 weeks here and not get anywhere near it. So maybe we could go ahead and break a little bit into. I mean, we've got so many comments about AI in here, but let's get into a little bit of
The
email.
email. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So across the bottom of the screen, for those of you just joining us, vlogofmanythingsgmail.com. If you have any ideas for a show, any questions, throw them at us. You want us to bring up something. This is a good example of what we like to do. Is we'll talk about your stuff. All right. Rob from Monroe, Georgia said, "What is better, Mulvey, Holmes, or Beckby, and why?" You know, literally, why are they better?
Dawn and I differ on this.
Well, we differ, but
Yep.
also let's take this out of order a little bit. Eric, of the three, real briefly, let's get the answers brief, guys, all of us. And that is, Eric, of the three, what do you think is the best and why?
I'm gonna go with Holmes because
Okay.
I think that Beckme was overworked and overdone, and Holmes still has that feeling of rawness to it, and I appreciate that.
Okay. Tom?
I would go with Moldve, Moldve BX, because I feel like Eric hit the nail on the head. That Beckme was overcooked. Holmes was, well, this is pretty good, but
It's
maybe
raw.
we
I'll
could
say
tweak it
it's
a little
raw.
bit. So in the cooking process, maybe we worked it a little bit better. But I think Beckme was overcooked, personally. But I will admit, the Moldve Basic BX was that was my D&D at first before I even got an
Okay.
AD&D manual. So it's nostalgia. So I will admit my hypocrisy knows no bounds,
All right.
and
Yep.
that's where
Steve,
we're at.
do you have a preference?
I don't really have one. No.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say Beck me, but I will say it like this. Beck. BEC, not me. And the reason I'm saying that is the first three box sets I think were the best. And this is the reason why. Very simple. Is because I think what they did is they took Mulvey and Holmes and they took both those as the foundational aspects of the game and they built upon it and they expanded it. Almost like they attempted to make it more of an advanced D&D style game.
Okay,
So I just would have to say Beck out of Beck me for that.
I would buy
Um,
that.
Scout Mulder says Beck me for the win. Mario Evil DM says Edward Kopp, you are right. So Mario Evil DM, welcome to the show. Don't know who you are, but
Well, you're identifying with somebody.
yeah,
Somebody.
behave.
Maybe
We're not.
somebody.
Yep.
Oh,
Edward Kopp says classic blue box or blue cover. Back me basic D&D Dungeons and Dragons basic set Mulvey edition. This is the most iconic blue cover D&D book. And then Edward goes on and says features the Errol Otis cover art with a fighter and magic user battling a dragon, part of the Beckme series basic expert companion master immortal. And then Edward goes on and says came in a blue box, was a gateway to D&D for many players early 80s. Yes, it was. But it is just something about it, the way it goes. But I also got to respect, and I'm going to give the love to it. Mulvey and Holmes are absolutely brilliantly done D&D. Absolutely. So next question is this. All right. I'm gonna say the name. This is just the email names. Sir Yeetsalot from My Mom's Basement says this. Of all the dice in D&D, the D4 must be the dumbest one. And it says, or dumbest one, useless and never used. Why do they have it in the set still? Well, first of all, the the D4 is still used in D&D and always been used in D&D. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I guess in 5e, what magic user hit points now? What D6?
D6, yeah.
Yeah. So in classic D&D, when you go back, magic users, illusionist, D4 for hit die. Magic missile was D4, not counting basic where it was D6, but
Mhm.
AD&D D4 plus one. Cobalt hit points were D4. There were a
Mhm.
lot, and it's a caltrop. So if you happen
Yeah.
to drop it on the floor, take your shoes off. You will find it quickly.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
Yep.
saying.
Yeah. But also the D4 as just a general dice in the game, I use it a lot, even in just basic D&D, classic D&D, advanced D&D. I mean, I maybe Sir It's a lot does think it's a waste of a dice. I know a lot of people who question it, but I think a lot of times people question it not because they don't use it. I think it's more of it's the weird shape. It doesn't roll like a classic dice.
No.
And yes, you're right. Drop that fucking thing on the floor and step on it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I would rather step
So
on a Lego.
yeah. Maps and Morons asks, does Wizard Tower have a Discord server? Yes, we do. We do not really utilize it because I don't utilize Discord, I think, to its true potential. I just use it more of a chat function. I think once I get the publishing aspect of Wizard Tower publishing up, I think it may behoove me to dig into it more. Eric, you pretty much really utilize it a lot
Yeah,
with
no,
a lot of the
we
stuff.
have actually now it's two Discord servers. It's the main 10 Cars Tavern, and then there's one for the YouTube channel
Yeah.
for the members so they can give input and thoughts back. So
Yes. So yeah, I think that Discord will be something that the problem I'm having here is this is that that's why I'm hiring people. I'm only one person and I only have so much time in a day and I'm trying to get more efficient and my efficiency is suffering because I'm by myself. And
Yeah,
I don't
ditto.
want that to happen. So that's why I'm trying to get a couple layout people, a couple editors, a lady that's now getting with and working for me who's doing kind of like all of my fine line, sending emails out and all that stuff. So hold on a minute. I think Tom, you got a question come up here in a minute. Um, Mario Evil DM says, pretty good at Tabletop Tap Room. I did not kill my player characters yet. And then Mario says also to you, Tom, um, and you at Tabletop Tap, how do you do? I think he means about.
Well, I just responded to him in chat.
Okay, well, maybe talk about it. Maybe I'll hear where people can get the idea of.
Well, because Mario Gomez, Mario whatever was an alt for a suspected
Well, I have a feeling this name is
patron
purposely
of
done because it's
Virgin Hub.
Mario and Vince.
yes,
So I
Yeah.
think this person knows the history and they're kind of like capitalizing on it. A little
yeah.
bit.
It's like I want to be
Hey.
part of the inside
I've
joke.
invited them to come on a live stream with Tabletop Tap Room if they want to. If they don't,
Sure.
whatever.
Exactly.
Hey, well, forget about it. Hey.
Yeah. All right. The next question that we had was from Thomas from Florida. And Thomas says, question for each of you. If you all have YouTube channels, why you have this one? All you are doing is screwing each other over and acting like you are friends.
We are friends.
Well, to be totally honest with you, I hate every one of these fuckers. Right
We are friends.
and I just do this because I have millions of dollars stashed from authors in the Bahamas that Steve knows about. And, Eric, is on the take with me from his New York City days.
Wait.
Remember that,
I
Eric?
thought
Yeah,
Eric was
yeah,
on the
yeah.
take when he was a cop.
Well, 9 years, but I'm on the take now.
Wait, he was investigating other cops.
Yeah, you
And,
know how
and
it
Tom
works.
is running secret massive methamphetamine labs up in Maine in the
Oh, hey.
woods. So we all got our thing.
No.
No?
No methamphetamine lab. That's a still. Classic.
Oh, that's right. That's
My
right.
grandfather had a still during Prohibition till he realized he had too many friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just run a space pirate guild. No big deal.
Yeah, and that's what Steve does. Steve runs, secret shit for the NSA. Um, all right, Elk of Antioch, real quick. Couple things important here. Elk of Antioch says I submitted my application and resume for editor position or backup editor. If you're interested, it's still done. I haven't heard anything yet. Elk, please email that to me tonight. I'm actually posting a video tonight after this. I recorded earlier today. So do that, and I want to set up a talk with you about it. Tom, you got challenged. Tabletop Tap Room. Oh, yeah. Live for sure. Let's do it. I'd be happy to watch, man.
DM, contact me. Would love to have you on.
Absolutely.
Number one, if it's who I think it is, you can get in touch with me. It's easy.
Okay.
I don't hide on the internet. I don't hide behind fake alts like Mario Gomez,
Mario Real, Mario 123, Mario Jizzmaster 4000.
oh.
I liked Mario Jizzmaster 4000. That was a fun.
And real quick, Elke Antioch says a happy monitor Discord server. If you, that's the whole point. As we grow, we want to start getting more organized. And I've got to admit, I'm publicly admitting it here. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I admit it. I own up to it. And I have not been the most efficient person when it comes to time and getting projects done because I'm only one human being. And that's why I'm needing to bring other people on so I can become more efficient because people who utilize my services deserve that. Simple as that. And I've been wrong for not delivering that. And I apologize to anybody that got affected by that.
And let me just say this to Mario Gomez, to Mario Evil DM. You want to go on live? Sure. You don't want to be live and have your face on there. You can put up a picture,
paper bag.
Like the Evil DM does with
the unknown comic.
With the dude.
Put your avatar up there.
Yeah, you can put an avatar up there on the screen. But your voice has to be live. And sure, I would be happy to interview you. Absolutely.
Okay, good deal. You can even email the vlog of many things down below, and I'll put you in contact with Tom because we are happy to oblige that.
Absolutely. Tom has my email. Eric has my email.
Yep. Scott Mulder says the newest alt Mario. I lost my appeal in court 123. Elk of Antioch says we are having our prime minister debate tonight. All right. And I guess apparently everyone sells fentanyl in America and sells it in Canada. Our politicians wouldn't lie, would they? Well, first of all, it's not fentanyl that we sell. It's methamphetamine. Get it right.
Yeah.
And they better share, too.
And primarily North Carolina is one of our biggest selling areas, mainly in the...
You got to look at the teeth. Look at the teeth. It'll give it away.
It's the meth pipe. It's the meth pipe thing in North Carolina.
That's right.
If they look like they have British teeth, they're probably American meth heads.
Yeah, that's right. And Edward Kopp says, Don, sounds like you need an operations manager. My wife, who is watching this show right now in her sewing room, will understand this code. What I need, and I'm getting, is a Melanie.
Uh-oh.
A lady worked for me at Two Moon Prep. Remember Melanie up front, Steve? Melanie was about 110 pounds soaking wet, but that woman would command a room. And she does. And she had the unique ability. She never had to even raise her voice or nothing. She was like the most calm, sweetest talking person, but you just knew.
Yep.
Just do what she says, please.
Don't screw with her. Yep.
That's right.
We had
one
in catering.
But I had a hell of Steve, let me ask you a question. Did all the women love working for me there?
Yeah.
We had a great time there because I just say, get the work done. Let's have a good time.
So, yeah, we even had our own little Magic Wizards hat.
Yes, we did. Kate.
What, a hat of sorting?
Kind of. It had a liquor bottle underneath it. No joke.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What was it? Jack Daniels, was it? Or was it Southern Comfort?
Southern Comfort.
As long as it was,
and
then
I will say this now in front of Steve because Steve can validate this because nobody believes me when I say it. I had all these women working for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do for my birthday? They brought a cake in that was boobs. No Joke.
Yes.
You want to talk about uncomfortable as the male employer of a bunch of women, and they say happy birthday, and they whip out the cake that are like triple D's? Not that I buried my face in the cake at all. So back to the reader comments. This is actually a really good question. Really, really prime question for the show. And I'm not joking. Julia from Chicago asked this. She says, I am playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and it's new to me. She says, I have always played 3.5, and I have a question for the collective board like cerebellums. Thank you. She says, can I decide to not use a certain rule if I find the rule or rules do not make any sense? And she goes on and says, she says, like time in the game. I think Gary Gygax and David Arneson got it all wrong. Time makes no sense like they wrote it. And I think she means like segments, turns, and rounds. Eric, ideas, thoughts, opinions? Anyone?
No. Wait, what, Steve? Why are you yawning? Okay, I mean,
I'm just tired, man.
okay.
If you knew how busy I always am.
I think the thing is, okay, if nobody has a comment, I think she is right, because one of the biggest problems I always had a problem with D&D was when, as an example, you have a group of adventurers in a room and they're all standing around in a circle and they're taking literally in game time 45 freaking minutes to decide if they want to open the damn door.
All right, yeah.
Oh God, I fucking hate that.
Yeah, so by the way they did time in D&D facilitates that kind of nonsense.
War Machine Boards had a solution for this. The wife of the writer of those rules actually told him one time in a game to play like he had a pair.
Yes.
No, I'm serious. That's actually printed in the book. Play like you have a pair.
A pair, yeah. Well, the thing is, you know, I utilize the rule. I've always utilized this rule, but Kelsey Dion puts it in Shadow Dark too, and she didn't get it from me. This is Kelsey's creation in Shadow Dark, is true time. In other words, torches last an hour, let's just say. So when Eric says in the game, I'm lighting a torch, you hit the timer in your mind or where you track time, and guess what? You guys want to sit around and talk for 45 minutes, go right ahead. Guess what? You're just screwing yourself out of 45 minutes of torch time. So in answer to her question, real quick, Mark Hunt says, and Mark nails it, as does Edward Kopp, says, yes, alter the rules as you see fit, but let the players know and write down the change so all are aware of it. Be consistent in the implementation. That's my add-on to it. And then also Edward Kopp says, or excuse me, Fugly says, you can change any rule that you want to as long as you're the DM, but also you have to be consistent. So if you apply that rule now, 3 hours from now or the next gaming session, that rule still stands. You can't just go with the wind, you know.
Amen.
Yeah, we even had that with our little homemade RPG.
Yeah, consistency, because that's part of the key of D&D. Tom just posted in here at Mario Evil DM, I won't be disappointed if you're willing to come on live or recorded video. I'm cool with it, so you can do live or recorded. And then also said, contact him direct. Yeah, so contact Tom. Tom's willing to go record or whatnot.
You can use the whole Blog of Many Things Gmail, or you can use, if you find my Gmail, go ahead and use it.
Yep.
I don't actually, I just PM'd Eric.
And real quick, there's kind of an odd thing happening
Eric
here.
will inform me.
Well, there's an odd thing regarding this show tonight and the Evil DM Mario account. It's odd that Mario the Evil DM is asking about this when in one of our other emails, and I read this earlier to the group so everyone knows it's not just a response to this, we got an email from O&B Publishing out of Tennessee. Now, for those of you who do not know, O&B Publishing is the Fourth Reich implementer Dave Johnson. He was associated with New TSR. Eric, I agree with you 100%. Point being brought up though for this
Yep. No,
is
I got.
this is what he wrote. Just as a note, OMB Publishing said this: would any of you care to come into a neutral YouTube channel and debate game design? I find Wizard Tower game designs to be lame and they have no taste. 10, 10 cars game Blades and Arcana makes no sense, goes nowhere, and needs a massive rewriting. And Tom's Monday mini videos are the same thing over and over. So
Oh,
who is up for a real man's debate? Well, um,
time and place, asshole. I know who you are.
I,
Time
I
and place.
you know what? If anybody
Because I've
wants,
actually read OMB's D30 official RPG rules. They're fucking shit for game design. I'm just gonna say that. Official. I don't care if we get demonetized.
Official shit. Are
Fucking
you
we've
saying?
been demonetized after about 7
Yeah.
minutes.
Are you saying that? Oh, what was it? OMB, OMG. Listen, George, right? You like to call yourself George.
Lord George,
Lord George.
who
When
smoked
when
a
AI
cigar
writes
that
your next fiction or your next
Duke
game,
Justin gave him.
please feel free to email me at tencars.tavern@gmail.com. I'd love to review your AI written bullshit.
Well, and to be fair, I will say this about
All
Dave
his
Johnson.
shit is AI
okay?
written. All his shit is AI written. It's pathetic.
I will be happily nice to Dave Johnson in this video, and that is this. If Mr. Johnson, and boy did the good Lord name him right, a Johnson. If Dave Johnson would like to debate game design with me, I'm happy to do so.
And I will
Okay.
I will step out of the room. I will step out of the room.
No,
I might comment in the comments, but I will step out of the room because obviously Dave Johnson and I, we've had phone calls together. He does not like me. I get it. I will step out of the room. Happily step out of the room.
well, but in all fairness, the problem with Dave Johnson is that when it comes to game design,
He's a
his
Johnson.
issues is he cannot function in game design unless he's talking about preteen, prepubescent Asian little girls, the Third Reich,
Yes.
okay, or for some reason he wants to go ahead and knob off of what's that character's name from Wilmington that he did? You got Lord George and Sir
Duke Justin.
Justin, yes. So he's got this really weird Asian schoolgirl Nazi nutsack licking fetish thing of the 1800 pirates. It's really weird. And and people were not joking. That's the worst part about it. We're not joking. He literally had a Twitter page dedicated to his Fourth Reich antics of worshiping the Nazis. No joke. So the thing is this. I'll end it like this. Dave, you know damn well, real quick. What's that, Tom?
Get this comment in. Mario Evil DM says, Tabletop Tap Room. We can have a video chat after the show in Discord. I will personally go into Discord and log in. I freaking hate Discord. It's not my favorite platform. But I will go in there. You can contact me.
That's why you're never there on a Thursday night, you son of a bitch. Don showed up. Don's made an appearance, but yeah, no, too good for Tom.
I will go into Discord. It's not my favorite platform. I will go into Discord. I will be waiting for a video chat with you.
If I don't bust your balls,
whoever you are. Yeah,
I am gonna come. I'm definitely going into the video.
Oh my
chat
God,
tonight.
RPG Grandma, welcome. We missed you.
Hey,
we love RPG Grandma.
RPG Grandma, come on in. But real quick, I'll just say it like this with Dave. David, listen, this is Don. You know as well as I do, you're not going to debate Tom or Eric or anyone else. You know you're doing this because it makes you feel like a big man. And I understand. I understand. You probably feel a little confined living in your mom's basement and everything. I get it, okay? And you can only whack off to Asian schoolgirl porn so much times in a day before it gets a little boring. So why don't we do this? Why don't we instead say, we'll wait to debate you until you publish a real game. Once you do that, then we'll debate, okay? But you got to publish something first.
Because the D30 official RPG rules do not count. They are a
Well,
bastardization that is just absolutely.
there's also another set of D30 rules sitting right over here that's about that thick that has a really weird mix of sci-fi, Nazis, racist, and bigoted content. So he's really good at starting stuff, but his follow through ain't worth a shit.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that. Brian, welcome. RPG Grandpa, welcome. You know what? Grandma, sorry, we are so messed up tonight. We went off.
RPG Grandma is a Star Frontiersman. All right.
Oh,
and she
yes,
is a Star
she is.
Frontiersman I hold in high regard. She is great people.
And I'll tell you what right now, and I'm not just saying this to kiss her ass in front of everybody. RPG Grandma is a hell of a human being, period. She's a heavy game supporter. She supports tabletop gaming. She walks the walk and she talks the talk.
I also know things about her personally that I'm not going to say online publicly because I don't know if she wants me to say that online publicly. But you know what? This is a really great human being. And I think she is worthy. You know, she's not published anything that she's trying to put out there for profit or anything that I know of. But you know what? RPG Grandma is a good human being, and she's top of the list in my book.
And Tom Sober.
Agile Monk says, geez, guys, you can make your point without all the crude hyperbole. Excuse me.
True.
You know what? I agree with you, Agile Monk, but I'll just put it to you this way. The problem with this is this. When it comes to certain human beings, you just don't know the background on it. And I'm sorry, but when you attack wives, my dead daughter, children, and all that, you get hyperbole from me.
Yeah.
So at the end of that, though, this is the deal. It is 9:04. Eric has a
I have a date on
chat.
Discord.
Yep.
It's too good for Tom.
I'll swing in and say hi.
Tom doesn't do Discord.
Hey, send us off with that meme I sent you.
Hold on a minute. You're gonna make me have to share this dang thing.
Everybody's gonna love it.
Oh, stop. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to save. How do I? I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I cannot.
It was in Discord.
I know. I find the damn thing, but it won't let me go ahead and save it. It's a link, Steve. I can't do it.
Well, just click through that and then share the screen.
No, you're a pain in the ass.
I know. I love being that.
Hold on a minute. Visit site. Just a minute.
On that note.
Okay, hold on. Let's just finish this real quick. Let me real quickly do this. Media. Let me share screen. Oh, not that screen. I don't want to do the U porn or whatever it is. Okay. All right. There. That is it. You might be a workaholic if, let me real quickly do it this way. If your definition of resting includes color codes, charts, and KPIs. Okay, you have to be basically a geek to understand that.
That's my job, basically.
Which would have been a big deal.
Less satisfying than I would have.
All right, gentlemen. Gentlemen, thank you for tonight. Everybody in chat, thank you very much. You know what? Had a nice chat tonight. We had a total of, at one time, 72 people, which is really dang good. Thank you very much, everybody.
Nice.
A lot of interaction. Eric, thank you for coming on tonight. Steve, Tom, thank you very much. I know you had knee surgery, Tom. Still getting through it.
I
will
managed
swing
to get
into
through the whole show with a knife in my knee.
oh,
So, good
just,
deal.
just take your narcotics and quit it.
Yeah, true.
Taking RPG.
All right, guys.
Take a fucking narcotic. I've been trying to wean
Good night.
myself off.
And also look for next week starting Thursday night, or excuse me, Friday. Look for go to Wizard Tower Games' YouTube, and probably I don't know if Eric's gonna be doing anything, but I'm gonna be doing little mini lives and recordings of WizardCon. The first
I'll
game
probably
convention,
be there.
my cherry's getting busted for WizardCon for gaming. I'm nervous as hell. I admit it. A lot of eyes are on it. I hope I do it justice. I hope people have a good time. That's what I really want.
You'll be fine.
Tom, wish you were here with us.
I wish I was there.
Yep, next year
I'm
because
still
we are doing
recovering.
2026.
I'm actually getting my my stitches out tomorrow from the doctor.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So guys,
I've been
good
warned.
night, everybody. Tom, get healing.